is HPV Prevention Week. It's designed to bring awareness to an infection that's estimated to affect more than 75% of sexually active men and women in their lifetime. Let's discuss with Dr. Leighanne Mercer, the Medical Officer of Health in Wellington, Dufferin Guelph. Thanks as always for your time, Dr. Mercer.
Thank you for discussing this really important topic.
Of course. Let's start with exactly what HPV is and how common it is in this province.
Well, HPV is a virus. It stands for human papillomavirus, and it's extraordinarily common. We estimate that 3/4 of all adults will encounter this virus at some point within their life. So this virus is a CT virus because it actually doesn't make you sick, but what it does do is it actually invades your cells and it stays within your cells for long periods of time. And because it's in your cells, sometimes in a growing number of people, this virus, which is active in their cells, will show up sometimes 10 years, sometimes as long as 30 years after you've been infected, and it can cause cancer. And that's why we're really concerned about it, because actually HPV cancers, head and neck cancers in particular, are the fastest growing group of cancers in Canada.
Okay, I do want to get to that eventually as well. Let's first talk about the vaccine that's available, its effectiveness, and who's eligible for it.
Yeah, well, thankfully, we have an excellent vaccine, one that actually is well documented that if you receive this vaccine, ideally at a young age, we really would like to vaccinate children in grade 7, that this vaccine is proven and documented to have 0 cancers in those children who were vaccinated in that age group. And that was a study that was done in the United Kingdom. So this vaccine really does work. And so in Ontario, actually in every province in Canada, you can have this vaccine free if you are in grade 7, right up until you leave high school. So it is an expensive vaccine if you're finished from high school, about $500. But while you are in school, and it doesn't matter if you didn't get it in grade 7, when we came through, you can go back and get it in any of the grades as long as you've not graduated from high school yet, and you are eligible to receive this vaccine, which actually prevents cancer.
Okay, and let's circle back to that. I want to talk about the cervical screening program here in this province. How has it changed in recent years, and what does it look like now?
Well, now that we know that this is a virus that causes cancer, and actually if we went back in history like 30 or 40 years ago, we did not even think that viruses cause cancer. But now we know that that's not true at all. And we know that viruses can cause a lot of diseases, not just cancers. So what we used to do was we used to look for what I call the after effects of a virus. So we actually would do a pap smear. Any woman who's had one, they were actually taking cells and looking at those cells to see, is there any abnormality? But what we can do now is, now that we know that the virus is what causes the cancers or the changes, we can actually go and look for the virus. So we're actually looking and picking up people who are infected and then being able to target, treat, and in those cases also vaccinate those women to try and prevent them from getting cancer. So prevention is great. That's what we want to do. But the earlier you start and vaccinate your children, and I'm talking males and females, because head and neck cancer is really fast-growing cancer amongst men. So the earlier we vaccinate our children, then we protect them from these kinds of cancers.
Okay, well, it's certainly an important conversation and a timely one to have this week as well. Dr. Mercer, thanks so much for this. Dr. Leighanne Mercer is the Medical Officer of Health in Wellington, Dufferin Guelph. Thanks for your time.
And thank you.